Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Very warm welcome to yet another episode of Coffee Table. If we talk globally, today's buzzword is climate change. To the highest global level, COPs, which is COP21 and 22nd, in the UN General Assembly, and everywhere, to the district government and at the village level. This is very relevant. Pakistan is one of the countries which is very vulnerable to the climate change, although Pakistan contributed least in increasing the carbon footprint, but nonetheless we need to mitigate that, and but before that we need to know what are the impacts and what are the new set of rules and laws that should come in to take this challenge head on for ourselves and for future generations. We have today with us Romina Khurshid Alam. She's a member parliament from Gujranwala and very vocal on these issues. She's almost, I would not say but most of the caucuses, which I know she's the member, she's mover and shaker, and she's been putting her energy at a place which is the place to hit the nail at the top. Romina, very warm welcome. What do you say about it? What are you doing? What is the role of parliament?
Well, if you talk about the parliament and the role of the parliamentarian, yes, parliament is the basic, I think it's the only forum where we can do so many things, where we can do the legislation, we can do the oversight, and then yes, we can go through with the oversight on the implementation side as well. And if we talk about in the parliament, we are obviously having a great ministry and have very active minister of the climate change.
You have some caucus, green
caucus.
Yes,
but that is another thing. From the government side it is doing, and then we have obviously the standing committee of the climate change, in which we have a very young and enthusiastic sort of a chairman of the standing committee. And then if we talk about other things, like we are doing different works on the climate change, and we have initiated one Green Parliamentarian Caucus, in which we have different members from the parliament who are having the keen interest on climate change, and then we have SDG's task force member as well. From that as well, we picked up few members of the parliament who are working on the climate change, and then we got this climate change caucus, Green Parliamentarian Caucus, which we call. So in that we have the member of the parliament, we have from the provinces we have, because sometimes when after the 18th amendment, as we came across to know that things has been dissolved, so to bring everybody together to do some sort of action work, because now it's too much that we need to have more awareness and capacity building and grooming and this all thing. So we are doing the things on that.
You're a lady. How important this is that you should do all these things from a gender lens?
What? I don't feel like that. Do you think so? Lady can't do work? Do you have feeling that?
No, I mean because the women are likely to suffer the most because of the
climate change.
In the climate change.
Okay. Well, a woman, because we are, as being a woman, we are trying more focus on the woman, because if the basic thing that they should know about, they should have to have the awareness about the topic, about the subject, about the climate change, that what issues, what scenarios, and how they can be, because I think woman is the one who can play a very important role in the current scenarios.
And they are suffering more.
Yeah, and they are suffering more somehow, because we can say that maybe they don't know much, so that is the reason they are suffering more. Because if we're going to came across to know
when the families are split and men go to find new
opportunities, and yes,
they are left alone to look after everything.
Yeah. So I think so. If we go other way around, so we are trying to make them more strengthened in economical way as well, and in awareness as well, and in different other subjects we are trying to bring them more close to awareness and onto the economical side as well. We are trying our level best on that. But if you ask that how they're suffering, so yes, they are, because they don't know about their health, they don't know about how to suffer, how to survive. So they are going into the routine way, like if we talk about the malnutrition, which is a bit different, it's not relevant to right now the subject, but I think they should know about what is going on in the current scenario. For that, we are trying to come up with a different legislation, as if I talk about the Women Parliamentarian Caucus, and then if we talk about the YPF, that is Young Parliamentarian Forum. So we are trying to reach towards moreover to the women in that sense.
Before we go into the details, what is the gravity of the issue of the climate change? What is it doing to Pakistan?
Well, I think Pakistan is the one who is not suffering because of its own. There are so many other things, like I think we are the most vulnerable as well, that due to some other countries surrounding by, we are suffering as well. But we need to have to understand, getting the realization of the green sector, especially about our land, about trees, about green environment, I must say, one. And then the other scenarios, if yes, like everybody knows that we are suffering, our biggest challenge is energy. We are going towards the coal sector. We are dealing with, although we got the reports as well on which it shows that it's very much safe, but still there are so many other things which from the surrounding, which we are suffering a lot. From that, I think we are suffering a lot.
Is it leading to migration from rural to urban?
Yes, it is, because see, most of
what
the people.
What is the scale?
Well, I'm so sorry. Right now, I don't have the exact figures. So because I don't have the perfect figures.
It's a mammoth scale.
Yeah, it is, because it's very obvious, because people are going more towards the urban areas. They're moving from rural to urban areas because they feel like that they need to have more jobs, more opportunity. So they're going towards more, like if we talk about the agriculture sector, I think where we are not that much going in best way as we can go, or as we are having that capacity to go in. So that is a great number of people who are getting migrated towards from rural to urban sector.
Right. So here we take a break, and after the break we'll come up with more issues and try to find out solutions on which the Parliament is probably working currently and over the next few years. So please stay with us.
It's diverse.
It's original.
It's SDTV.
Welcome back. So, the land area, Pakistan is overall suffering because of the climate change, the heat wave. But the area that produce cotton, they're also suffering a lot because of the climate change, because of the heat wave and all. And as a result, the textile imports. So Pakistan is suffering economically as well. Parliament, I understand the Parliament must have been totally aware of that and doing something.
Yeah, well, I wanted to tell you on that note that personally, because I'm on the Standing Committee of Textile Industries, that the Standing Committee is playing because everybody knows that in any country, the Standing Committees plays a role of eye and nose. So in Pakistan, the Parliament, which we are having Standing Committee on Textile Industries, we are trying our level best to sort out the issues. What are the issues, why the things are happening, where the downfall, where they're getting problems, why the cotton is getting into, what are the drawbacks, you can say. So in that we are trying to meet towards those farmers, those business community, the exporters, importers, whatever comes. So we are trying to reach over that, and yes, SDPI is playing a great important role in that because in different sectors we are trying to bring towards, we are trying to gather the roundtable conferences and table talks in which we are trying to know, because as being a member of a parliament, obviously I don't know the main issues. So until unless I won't reach towards them. So in that we are trying to ask them the question, the issues, the scenarios, and for that even we are trying to utilize more over the research centers, the think tanks, and the economical, you can say the think tanks which are working on economical way as well, that how we can bring the changes in this issue of the cotton and export and all that issues regarding come towards textile sector.
Are you doing something for, on the gender issue for the ladies, because they're suffering more? I have seen in a documentary that because of the unusual floods in Gilgit and Baltistan, it was no more possible for the farmers to continue their farming on slopes, on terraces along the river, because their land was totally rendered useless. So they migrated to cities, and that gave impulse, and that started migration. And the women are left alone there. to look after the children, and at times look for livelihood as well. So women are suffering most. So are you looking the climate change from the gender lens as well?
It's a gender lens, yes, of course, because as we already know that number of a woman is more rather than a male. And obviously the suffering, as you already mentioned in your comment, that in your question or in your comment, that how they're suffering more. Yes, we are looking for it, and we're trying to focus on moreover on the women. We're trying to promote with the women entrepreneurship through different programs. Like I'll talk about Pakistan Baitul Mal. In Pakistan Baitul Mal, there is a specific department for women empowerment sector. I'm honorary ambassador as well on that. So in that as well, we are trying to reach towards those areas specifically. Like if you talk about Gilgit, if you talk about Swat, because Swat is also suffering very much in towards that, and so many other countries, so many other cities as well. So we are trying to, because we already know, everybody knows the issues, how they're suffering livelihoods. Obviously, they have to suffer. Their houses are suffering. Their kids are suffering for food, for malnutrition, and so many other things are going on. So for that, the government also have taken initiative in the form of the Benazir income support programs, in which we are trying to promote their skills, not only to promote their skills, to make them more skilled as well if they want to learn skills. So in that note, government has initiated different programs through Pakistan Baitul Mal and by this Pakistan Benazir income support program. So in that, yes, they're trying to help them out because they're suffering.
Are you doing something in your caucus or something?
Women caucus and
or the Green Caucus.
Okay, if you talk, I'll come up with it stepwise. If you talk about the Women Parliamentarian Caucus, so that I wanted to tell you that a Women Parliamentarian Caucus, every woman of the parliament is obviously the part of that Women Caucus, and that is a cross party. So when women are sitting over there on that specific caucus, so everybody talk about the issues of women. Rather it's a domestic violence, either it's economy issue related things, either it's education, either it's whatever comes. So obviously through climate change, and in that I must appreciate the efforts of the General Secretary of the Women Parliamentarian Caucus, that she has gathered all, and they all are having this discussions, and not only the discussions, the issues, the goals. We have set how to sort out the issues. And on that note, a few months back, like 3-4 months back, we had a proper conference, international conference, in which we invited the Pakistan Women Parliamentarian Caucus. They invited the women from the South Asian region, that because somehow, and moreover the issues are same, so that how we can cope up, how we can learn from each other, so that we are doing. And then if you talk about the Green Parliamentarian Caucus, in that, yes, we are trying to come, first of all, we are in that everybody is open to, like, they are easily, they can talk, they can express that what issues they are suffering from, their people are suffering from, because the member of the parliament is a person who comes up from they are the voices of the public. They are because of public, they are by the public, and because of them. So I think they are the ones who know more over the issues of the people. So in that caucus, we are trying to sit together, and we are trying to design the issues, like especially if my preferences, if you ask, that is water, that how we can go through with the issues of current scenario, in which especially about the gender, as you talk about the women, and what are the solutions. For that, we have requested, we have made a team of people, though I have a few of them, like 2-3 people, they have already done their PhDs in the climate change in different sectors. So we have requested them to come and, like, we can sit together. So in that note, we can come up with some sort of a legislation, not only the legislation, that how we can do the easy implementation, and how we can get the reach towards the rural area, how we can bring the changes, how we can utilize that land, either if it's in the slope form, about what are the things we can bring towards to that area. So the Green Parliamentarian Caucus is working very actively on that note, and especially and specifically on the climate change.
Right. A recently completed research study suggests that textile policy in Pakistan need into account the changes that the changing climate is bringing in. Are you doing something to, improve the policy from that angle?
Well, I would like to tell you that the Green Parliamentarian Caucus we are very much attached with the think tank, because it is not possible that if you don't go through with the help of any think tank, any analysis, any data. So for any sort of a legislation, any sort of a policy if you want to bring, or if any sort of a change you want to bring, you have to have the assistance along of some think tank or what. So on that, SDPI is helping us, the Green Parliamentarian Caucus, and in that we are trying to get the maximum number of facilitation, you can say, from their side, on which we are trying to come up with the legislation, and we are providing the suggestions towards the ministry, either it's Ministry of Textile, either it's a Ministry of Climate Change. And not only that, we are trying to cope up or to listen towards the different organizations who are working, and what our basic we are trying to achieve or trying to bring together, because different people are working on the different scenarios, but their work is being scattered. So what we are trying to do or trying to manage that through this Green Parliamentarian Caucus, that we should bring this scattered work together, and that we should come up with the proper solution and a work plan, that according to that work plan we can work in a proper way.
And the population that is coming from villages to the cities.
That is again a big challenge. And I must say that without
because of climate change.
Yes, because of the climate change, it's a very big challenge. And I must say that the provinces, they should have to be very much active, and they have to have now it's a very big alarming situation in which they have to cater it on a proper way and on a proper time, because if we're not going to make the things happening today, they're going to become a very big challenge in the coming future. So for tomorrow, yes. And for that note, the provinces, that is why we come up with this caucus, so that we can get to know. We should coordinate with each other, because it's a drawback that somehow in Pakistan the urgent things, the important things always gone covered by somehow or overtake by the urgent things. So important things always been, the urgent comes up and they just got the place. So we are trying our level best that this importance of the thing should be there, and we should know that rather than that we're going to cry in the coming future. So it's more important that we should focus on right now what the issues and how we can easily handle it, because already it's very alarming.
Right. So here we take another break, and after the break we will try to form up some sort of conclusion and the way forward, and what sort of support that the Parliament itself needs to form up the policies. Please stay with us.
It's diverse.
It's original.
It's SDTV.
Welcome back. Do you think that Parliament or your caucus, the special committees on climate, because these are technical subjects and very social in their nature as well, economic, it's cross-cutting. Mm-hmm. Do you think think tanks and research organizations can help you, and what sort of help they can give you?
Well, if you talk about, obviously Parliament is the basic forum. Parliament is the place where the solutions should come up, the policy should come up. But if we talk about the think tanks and the organizations, they can play a key role. They can support Parliament in a way that they can come up with the suggestions. There's issues, like the data analysis and the issues, like if you talk about the migration, still I think we are not having an exact number that how many number of people are coming towards from rural to urban. So I think think tanks and these institutions can play an important role by providing which sort of legislation is required, what are the solutions do need to get into the policy. And then so many other things, that how we can make an impact on the economy side, how we can develop the women sector, how we can promote them, how we can help them into come up as a strong, not only a strong woman in the financial economical way, so I think these organization, public sector and the think tanks can play a key role towards that. And in this caucus, if we said, I think they're already we are blessed enough that we got a good number of organizations who are helping us, and very soon the good sort of positive sort of policies are coming towards.
Right. So, one last question before we come to what is the way forward, do you think?
Well, way forward, if you talk, if you ask from me, I really want that we should promote the green plantation. We should make it a criminal offense that if somebody is cutting the trees. We should have to aware the people of on the small things as well, and make it in towards, which we are already trying, that this academia, we have to involve academia, not from the higher level, from the primary level. We should, has to be into the curriculums of the students, that of the children, young students, that they should know the importance of the climate change, that how we can save the water, how we should use our small resources, and moreover the recycling, and how we have to handle our trash, how we can, figure out first of all our issues, and how we can, because I believe that where there are issues there are the solutions, and solutions are always hidden in the issues. So I think we have to have an open eyes and open brains to how we can figure out those issues from those solutions. And yes, policies are there. I must say that Pakistan is the country who is always very rich in the policies.
And poor on implementation.
Yes, poor on implementation. So I think we need to have more implementation and little bit individual that I must say that individual feeling to do something.
So we are suffering
responsibility.
From Hamlet phobia.
You can say that.
Okay. So thank you very much
My
for
pleasure.
Giving time and participating in this very important program,
Thank
which
you.
is very academic in nature as well. So with this we come to the end of the program. Next time, next topic, new guests. Keep watching our programs.